Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon, beautiful afternoon from Ireland. How are you today?
Hello, Nengi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm super, 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 super duper good.
You're
Sorry,
looking
my
good.
energy seems to be high now, right?
It's good. That's the way
But
to go. That's the way to go.
that's the way forward, actually. A
It
bit of
is.
laughter, a bit of smile, because it's been harsh so far. It's been very cold and a bit
Sorry.
low down, if there's any
Yeah.
word. So,
Dark, some sense of darkness
like,
around things.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
How are you? How are you keeping?
I'm good. I'm keeping well. Trying to stay on top of things, really. But I'm
Yeah,
keeping well, and the weather has been good the last few days. So happy
super.
days,
It's been sunny.
Yeah, just making the most of the time and all that.
You seem so lively and happy. I'm looking to learn a lot from you and on how you are keeping the energy going.
Yeah, because this whole season and all that's going on, it's sort of
Yeah.
given me like a new lease to life, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It has helped me take a step back
Yeah.
and rethink a whole lot of things. It
Yeah.
is, sort of have a shift even in the mindset and in so many ways, really so many ways. And now I put up something a few days ago that now it's just live each day, enjoy
Mm-hmm.
each day, just enjoy every single day and every single moment that does matter. And I know we say these things a lot, but sometimes
Yeah.
it takes an event like this for the
Actually.
true meaning of that to really sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. Um, just tell me a bit about you. And for those who were watching, those who were listening. So maybe your name and yeah, something else that you do for the sake of introduction, and then we hit it on.
Okay. So my name is GeeBee,
Okay.
and I wear many hats, but I'll go with
I like
this
that
one.
hat then. Many
I
hats
wear
then.
many Yeah, I wear many hats. So when I'm asked to introduce myself, sometimes I'm like, okay, which is the relevant hat in here at the moment. But
Wow.
I wear many hats, and one of the hats that I wear is that I am the president of an online community of
Okay.
moms. It's called
Super.
we have over 300,000 moms across the globe that are part
You
of that.
go, Mama. Wow, wow, wow. Actually, we will be having GB back to talk to parents, especially mothers, on how to handle all of this and be emotionally stable as a mom dealing with maybe two, three, four kids. So maybe that's gonna be on the next video. But on this video, we will be focusing on something completely different, and that's as GB as an individual. I'm having GB on this first video because she's a woman that inspired me so much. She's a big sister, and a lot of things I know of emotional well-being actually I learned from her life experience. She's a woman you can see has been through life, and she's out stronger, wiser. It's like she's like a refined gold. You'll be learning a lot. Now, a lot of videos I will be doing talking, but I'll bring the people who you and I can learn from because of the path that life has brought them and the nugget and wisdom that they've actually acquired from the path that life has brought them. I'd say GB is one of those ladies that she's endowed. Yeah, if there's, she is endowed. Okay. So you will be learning a lot. I'll be learning as well. So yeah, stay through to the end of the video. So right, let's get rolling. Tell me something,
Thank you so
GB.
much,
Is
Maggie.
there what?
Thank you so much. I'm humbled.
Oh dear, that's how she plays it. I looked at she's actually bigger than that. Take my word for it. She is way bigger than that. Okay, tell me something. So
Yeah.
I've been thinking, what is one way that I can give to people online and offline with what's going on at the moment? As I said in my earlier video, everyone is hit.
Yeah.
I'm hit in one way or the other. You were hit, the rich, the poor, female, male, everybody's getting hit. Child, everybody's getting hit. Well, what is something we can learn from each other that we can apply, what we can learn from each other and apply to our lives that will help all of us in this period? Okay, things to help us emotionally. If, so in your case, Chibi, what is one advice actually, or what's one recommendation, or what you are doing yourself? You're looking good, Mama. You're looking good. What
Thank
is
you.
one thing you are doing that you can recommend? And I'm happy to learn as well. What are you doing that
Yeah.
you can recommend to
It's
others?
It's just two words, you know, it's just two words, and it's keep fit. You
keep
know,
fit.
keep
Ooh,
fit.
okay.
And when I say keep fit, I'm not just talking about physically. Because when we talk about keeping fit, the first thing that comes to mind is, get the runners and go jogging, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
That's very essential. I'm actually, you know, putting that out there, even with the online community. Say, look, let's keep fit. It's very important, because one of the major things that this whole thing has brought to light for us is that health is the most important thing to life. You know, when we have health, and that's why it's always said that health is wealth. So you know, keep fit physically and make sure that you're physically fit, whatever it needs, if you know, plus all the cleanliness and all the cleaning of hands and all that we need to do, all of that. But also for me, what's also very important is keeping fit mentally. Because then, what I realize is, when we lose the battle in the mind, we've lost the battle anyhow. And
that's deep preachment, mama.
You know, that's a reality, because I look back at my life and I see that until I lose that battle in my mind, I actually never lost the battle. So the battles that I first lost in my mind. The moment I thought, look, I can't do this, then it's gone. So it's just to keep fit mentally, and how, you know, just make sure that mentally you're sound, that mentally you're doing well, because all of what's going on around here is draining. It's mentally draining. It's emotionally draining. Some of us are surrounded by our loved ones, so we're happy days, we're dancing happy. Not everybody is. Even those of us that may be surrounded with our loved ones, after 3-4 weeks at home, going to 6 weeks now, we're starting to get on each other's nerves, you know, and the energy is no longer the same. So it's very, very important to ensure that you keep fit, that you mind your mind. What are you feeding your mind? Who are you talking to? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you doing? Some of us have been very active the last couple of years, and all of a sudden, boom, we have to slow down. We don't know what to do with ourselves, and we're just lost. And the moment we get into that space and we're trying to find ourselves, it's easy to go down rather than stay strong or go up. So it's very essential, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're keeping fit mentally. You know, I talked about who you're talking to, your environment, what's in your space, you know, your online environment as well. What are you encountering on your feeds when you scroll down? Who's there sharing ideas with you? Who's there sharing their knowledge? Who's there sharing stories? There's so many gory stories online. Is that what your newsfeed is filled with? You're just going to be miserable. So you want to check your online environment and check your online space. What energy are you bringing in from the online space into your offline space? And a lot of times we don't realize how this impacts, but it does impact us so much. And especially because we're looking at this thing. So we're using our eyes most times. We're feeding our soul. And, you know, how's it said that the mind is the eye of the soul, or the eye to the soul. You know, you're feeding your eyes with all of this information, and it's feeding your soul in the process. So what are you feeding your soul? It's very essential that you guard that space, that you surround yourself only with positive news, surround yourself with people that will call you with good news, that even if there is updates, they're not calling you to drain your energy. You know, if you have people who just call you to whine and whine and whine, this many deaths, that many this and that, you want to check it, you know, and just, you don't have to stay on the phone, which is something.
You don't have to stay on the phone. Listen.
You don't have to. You know, when
you don't have to pick the call as well.
You don't have to pick the call. When I learned that, I was liberated. You know, I always say this, one of the best features of the phone is the silent button. It's there for you to use it. If you need space and you need to look after yourself, put your phone on silent. If your phone is ringing and you're not mentally fit to answer that call, don't feel obliged to pick that call and respond, and then probably that call is going to drain your energy some more, when you could have just put the phone on silent. When you're in a better space, call the person back. And if you call the person, if the person picks up the phone, or you're chatting and the conversation isn't helping you mentally, politely ask that you call them back. Don't even ask them to call you back. Tell them you will call them back so that you can take some time off for yourself. And when you're in a better space, you can call them back and have that conversation. Because a lot of times, the conversations that we're having, they either boost our energy or they drain our energy. So if a conversation is draining your energy, you don't have to stay in that space. You don't have to get into every argument. If it's an argument, you don't have to get into every argument. Sometimes you just need to step back for your own sake, you know, for your mental state of mind. And, you know, the funny thing is, all of these things affect us. And when I say us, I'm not talking about a group of us. I'm talking about the all of us that makes me. My eyes, my head, my feet, my legs, my kidney, my liver, everything that I'm composed of, it affects it. I was reading up a few pieces there, and you know, it's a very interesting piece about how our emotions affect our internal organs. The one that stuck with me, I think it's anxiety. Anxiety affects the kidney. I'm still reading up on it and trying to learn more about it because I find it very interesting that these emotions direct, you know, they have their impact on our internal organs. And unlike the physical skin, if I have a rash now, or I break into something, or something tears off my skin, I'll see it in good enough time. And I'll be able to attend to it and care for it. But it's not the same with my kidney. It's not the same with my liver. It's not the same with all other parts of me. I'm not checking them regularly. There's no way for me to check them regularly unless I go into the GP for the regular checks, which is very essential. But unlike the skin that I can check every morning,
and you can see
do the same with my internal organs. So I'm going through all of this draining emotions and energy and vibe, and it's affecting all of that within me. And then by the time sometimes you realize it, it's too late. You know, I studied nutrition as my first degree, and one of the key things I remember very well from one of our lectures then was talking about how stress is an underlying factor for most ailments. You know, that when you're under so much stress, you're susceptible to so many illnesses. So it's very, very essential that regardless of what's going on in the world, despite all the, you know, the draining news and all of that that's going on, that we protect ourselves mentally, do things that will help you stay alive mentally. If it means doing puzzles every day to keep your brain going, if it means dancing, just play music. I love music because music has energy. You know, just play music and let that moment fill you up. If worship or a dance music, anything that would lift up your spirit and your mood. Because at the end of the day, you're not just doing it for yourself. I always say you're doing it for your internal organs, and you owe it to them to keep you alive.
That's true. It's beware of what you allow into yourself and the people you let into your space. So it's a very crucial moment. It's a time when you should be more picky than you ever were before. So you have to be more picky about the friendship you keep online and offline.
Absolutely.
So that means Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, who you're chatting with, because you don't want to allow any negative energy and you don't want to let anything that will not help you emotionally.
Absolutely.
So as I am, I try to be picky as well. You know, you don't allow negativity. Some people are some others are really good with good news and positive things, okay? Others are really, really just negative. You just can't
just have to.
Who they've chosen to be, where you have to watch out for yourself. Just watch out. Online and offline, be careful of the phone calls you are letting in. I was saying to someone, COVID-19 is enough bad news for the century.
It's enough to deal with.
Don't go buy it. Yeah.
Sorry, go on. No, I was just going to say that it is enough to deal with. Absolutely, I agree with you.
It is enough. It is enough negativity to deal with. Don't buy more. Don't let people bring more. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing bad in somebody ringing you up to say, okay, this thing is not going too well for me. Or, okay, this person just passed away, who you know. Do you know those kind of things? You know how to balance them. But I think, as I said, balance. What you should look at for is having a balance. So we all have to listen to the news at some point or the other, because You need to know what the Taoiseach is saying, that the new directive or instruction that the government is giving. But don't get absorbed all day long on the news. So if you're going to allow bad news, okay, also make provision for positive news. So it should be 50-50.
There should be a good balance.
There should be a good balance. Yeah, it shouldn't be negative things coming into you. Okay, make provision for positive things to counter the negative things that you've taken up from the media. But what I'm saying in essence is, don't be selective of people who can bring in positive things, because COVID-19 already brought enough negativity. So choose the people you are going to speak to in this period, and the people you're going to spend time with in this period. So if you're spending time online, WhatsApp, you're spending time, even if it's a family member, if all they bring all the time is things that weigh you down,
you want to step back.
Regulate the phone calls.
You want to step back, yeah. And you know, that's why I said, like, you have to be sure that you're mentally able to handle the energy that is coming into you.
Yeah, sure.
And if you see that you're not able to handle it, then it's best to guard yourself from it. Don't take a call if it's going to leave you drained. Don't engage
drained all the time.
Yes, if it's all the time, if it's going to leave you drained, leave it till when you're a lot more, because sometimes it's just about where we are at. Sometimes we're just too drained ourselves to engage in an even more draining conversation.
Okay, yeah, true.
Do you understand? And another thing is with the news itself, that you're mindful of where you're getting your news from. There's so many things flying around. There's so many news flying around that you want to just look out for the authentic ones.
Sure.
You know, go online or wherever you catch your news on TV and get the authentic news and the authentic information and updates around these things, not the forwarded messages that are going around and just creating more fear and panic rather than doing any good, you know.
Yeah. I was just going to add actually to what you've said in the case of guarding yourself mentally. It's good to watch out for your gate as well. Now, when I say gates, they are the entrance to the mind. So there are many ways things get to your mind through the things you see. Yeah. From scrolling on your Facebook feed, there are a lot of things that you will see that may not be too good for your mind. So it's to be careful of the things you see. Whatever you see your mind thinks about, and be careful of the things you hear as well. The things you allow, that'll be in the case of phone calls and interactions you have with people. Be careful of the things you perceive as well. So gates, just guard your gates in this period.
And your mouth as well. And your mouth as well. Because we're all home. We're all at home, you know, and we just keep going in and out of the kitchen, and we're not even hungry. We're just vacation. We just go and grab something. So do guard your mouth well, so that
guard your mouth. mind what you put in your mouth. It's not a time to feed on chocolate from morning till night.
Exactly. We have to apply wisdom to these things. And the other way to guard your mouth as well is that you're not the one bringing the bad news or the bad energy or the bad vibe all the time. Don't be the
50-50,
Don't be the bad news carrier. As much as you don't want people constantly bringing you the negative news, the negative reports, don't be the one doing that to others. Yeah, don't be the one doing that to others as well.
Sure.
If you must, you know, I mean, life is not all positive all the time. So there'll be times when you would have some sort of news or whatever that's not entirely positive that you want to share with somebody. But when it becomes a constant thing, and when we see your call, we know that, yes, this person always has some complaints or something negative to discuss, then
all the time
the rest of us will be guarding our space from that.
Oh my God, okay. That's a funny one. Yeah. So this is practical tip number one. Guard yourself and keep mentally fit. So guard what you allow yourself see, guard what you allow yourself hear, guard the relationships you're keeping online and offline. And be careful who you're letting feed you this period with information, because COVID-19 is enough negativity. So don't go out buying more. Be choosy. Be choosy about the phone calls, about the chats online, about the people you're spending time with. Make sure that relationships at this period are feeding you life. They're feeding you positivity. And it's just all about having a balance. You should be 50-50. So don't absorb negativity all the time. Make provision and choose positivity to have that balance, or else you just be harming yourself. And as GeeBee said as well, actually, when things affect you emotionally, they take a toll on your body organs. So if not for anything, protect your body organs, because you need that body to live. You need that house to continue living after COVID-19. We're all gonna be fine if we take on these tips and do these things. It's going to be fine. We've had worse, okay? We've had period something similar to this in the past, and people lived through it. So you and I are going to be fine. It's just taking on this tip. So tip number 1 on this video is guard yourself and keep mentally fit. Keep the toxic people away, and you don't be toxic as well. So spread the bad news, spread life, laughter, drink more tea or liquid, whichever one you like to do. I like tea, so I drink tea. Keep yourself warm, drink more liquid, and just be happy. Life is beautiful. It's a matter of which lens you're viewing from, actually. Life is beautiful, and there is a way around every situation. It's not a dead end. Okay, we call it a shot on this, and more videos will come in. Practical tips from Nengi to keep you physically and emotionally sound. Actually, not physically, but more emotionally sound, actually. So, thank you so much, GeeBee. I told you she's an embodiment of wisdom. We'll be learning a lot from her. Now, we'll be having a second video with you, actually. That's going to be coming. That will be you coming from a space of another mom, which I'm actually excited for. Okay,
yeah.
Super. And don't forget, live your best life. Drink liquid. I like tea, so I drink tea. And just enjoy your life. Get a comfy space like mine and live your best life. Important. Very important. This too shall pass.
Soon enough. Soon enough.
Soon enough. Soon enough. Just do what you have to do. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, and bye for now.